Before we begin this video, I recommend that you visit google.com and search for dinardata.com. This website is a great resource for the latest updates on Dinar Guru news, all conveniently located on one page. For more information, I encourage you to visit the site.
There are some interesting articles from Iraq. Teachers in Iraqi Kurdistan strike over delayed salaries. This is all part of the HCL stuff and the money that is supposed to be flowing to the Kurdish region. They have an urgent need to get this thing done so they can meet their obligations and take care of their people. This new government over there does care about their people and they are working hard to fix things. When it comes to the currencies that we know about, things are moving along nicely with those. They're trading upward. We know that the dinar is continuing to do well. Dong has been up and down. It's really good to see these things taking place. When people say there's not too much progress going on, well, some of these things take a long time to put together and most of them are coming into fruition as we speak. Many years ago Dr. Shabibi said the dinar would be able to support it up to $16. Would that still be true for the RI? No, it's far past that, but it would be illogical to come out at $16 or $28 or whatever. You need that margin for the float. You don't need it to show off. That's what Kuwait did and they realized their mistake. The next day, they brought it back down very quickly. It gave a window for sharks and whales. And they made massive amount of money. Obviously it was done on purpose. And obviously the IMF doesn't allow that to happen again. Humanitarian projects. 0.800#s. Numbers on the back screens, somebody with magical codes, redemption centers, all that is bullshit. I'm not saying I don't want to do one humanitarian project, but I'm saying it's not a prerequisite to exchange your dinars. I encourage people to do humanitarian projects. You don't have to do a humanitarian project, but there's going to be an overwhelming feeling to want to do humanitarian projects as soon as it happens. Look at the opportunity for Iraq. They're saying, hey, we need to sell energy in these other currencies. The United States is like, no problem. We don't care. We're expanding our markets anyways. There might have been in the past a situation where if Iraq sold energy in other currencies that we lost market share. But that's not the case coming down the road. Iraq figured out a plan to go forward to be able to sell to as many customers as possible. That's how they want to add value to the currency, as taking that route. It's good for the United States. It's good for Iraq. There's a restaurant coming into Iraq. It's called Johnny Rockets. It's a burger joint. Frank, I told you the whole world is pouring in. When you stop and think about it, those places that are coming into your country, they're either stupid or they know exactly what the monetary reform is about to do for them and you Iraqi citizens. I still think over the next 3 years you're going to see the dinar continue to go up in increments, but you're not going to see any real major changes until they get off sanctions. That's one thing. We also want alternatives to revenue generating other than oil. Iraq is headed in the right direction. IQD investors outside of Iraq may have difficulty exchanging the currency. Why? Because we will not have access to IQD banking. 2. The IQD may not be available on the forex market, thus not exchangeable by U.S. banks. In other words, it is not beyond the U.S. federal bank to help Iraq come up with a plan that could exclude individuals with Iraqi dinar but include different countries around the world. If we do not address this issue, there is a real possibility we may have difficulty exchanging the IQD for the USD. Representative Hussein Habib identified the most important ways to end the dominance of the dollar in Iraqi markets. Habib said in an interview with Al-Maloma, there are several steps to end the dominance of the dollar in Iraqi markets. The most prominent of which is reviving the national industry in all its dimensions in order to fill the large void in the import balance. Especially since the largest percentage of the market's needs depend on abroad, even for the simplest matters, including agricultural crops. He added, restoring industry and agriculture according to a vision that includes 3 dimensions. Sufficiency and developing production to achieve leaps in the balance of exports and imports will reduce dependence on the dollar at high rates, and thus ensure an end to its dominance. However, the matter requires comprehensive dimensions, the most prominent of which is providing means of support for the advancement of industry and agriculture. Reducing financial burdens from taxes and offering their exemption contributes to attracting capital and internal and external investments.